Welcome back, everyone. So today we are back at Augment Guitar with Ben here to pick up Pastor Mark's 135 ES. So we had the nut replaced on it. You want to go ahead and
so we went ahead and replaced the old nut, which is in the case, with this bone one that Chris here provided. Actually, when I pulled out the old nut, I thought it was the new bone in the previous video, but it actually was just plastic.
Yeah.
So it was just a plastic nut. So what I did is, it took me a while to remove the old nut because on the base side here, it was just caked with glue. There was a lot of glue on this side, and there was a little bit on here, but this side pretty much just pulled up with no issues. But I did my best to score around the nut and everything. And this side turned out good, but this side had a little bit of chipping, which we fixed with some combination of these lacquer pens from StuMac, if I can find the right colors here. So first what we did, cleaned up the area, and then we used this black lacquer touch-up pen. And then I went over with some aged clear lacquer as well. So these work really great, especially for repair finishes like this, because when you put new nitro on old nitro, it kind of melts into the old finish and becomes one. So it takes a little bit to fix the chip and stuff like that, because you have to wait for cure times and stuff like that, so it just doesn't dry in 24 hours like most finishes. It takes a little bit. What I would do is I would put some on there, and then every day, which you can do like a smell test where you can smell if the nitro is still gassing off. It'll just smell like fresh lacquer.
You're waiting for all the solvents to
evaporate out. And you have to wait for it to harden and stuff like that before you sand it back and level it and stuff like that. So it takes a little bit longer than other finishes where you can tint it and then drop like a little thing of super glue, level it, and shine it up. I've done that. But with lacquer, it's a little different, and I wanted to put lacquer on it instead of CA glue, just so that it would age with the rest of the finish.
Right.
So
let's take a look at that, and we'll use your chip as the thumbnail.
Yeah, there you go.
Some clickbait there.
Yeah, there you go. Oops, sorry. So there it is. So if you can see it, you can kind of see it there. So a little bit. Camera's having hard time focusing, but
camouflaged in pretty good.
Yeah, camouflaged in pretty good. It's going to be a little bit darker just because it's fresh black lacquer, and you can't. I mean, it's got what 20-30 years of.
Yeah, I seen the picture where you'd sent before you had to clear on it. You could see the black spot. Yeah.
And it's just there's no way getting around it.
No.
Unless you. I know probably some finish guys out there are a lot better at it than me. Fix and finish it. Finishing isn't one of my strong suits, but I can do certain small repairs and stuff like that if I need to. But
you also set up the action and intonation on it as well.
Yeah. So with the new nut, you kind of have to do like a fresh setup, especially with intonation, because it's going to be different from what it was with the old nut. What I like to do when I do like a setup and stuff like that is, if I'm using the same strings, I'll keep the old strings on and do about like a 90% setup, I call it, where you adjust the neck and stuff like that. You can kind of get the intonation and action ballpark where you're going to go, so that when you put fresh strings on, you only have to like tune them up once, and you're not detuning them, retuning them, because that just shortens the life of the strings, and sometimes you can break strings up there. So I like to do as much as I can with the old strings and then refine it with the new strings. So on this one, we adjusted the neck, and then I did the action, and then I did the nut. With that, I refined how deep the slots were and stuff like that, so you can see they're at the perfect height. They have a little bit of play there, but not too much, so it's very nice and comfortable. And then after I did the nut, I went ahead and dialed in the intonation. And then after I did that, I polished up the guitar, waxed the guitar, and it's playing and sounded great. So I also go ahead and tighten up any of the screws and stuff. The input jacks are usually, I want to say probably 70% of the guitars that come here have a loose input jack. So
same with the pots too, underneath the knobs.
They're somehow always loose. So I just go over the whole instrument and do that. And I also clean all the electronics with Deoxit as well.
$50 a can there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's good stuff though. I've funny enough, I've had this can for a couple of years. I just bought another one, so it lasts a long time. But it is very expensive. It's like 25 bucks right there.
And you are selling guitar strings by the pound too, right?
Yeah. I actually I send those into Diodario, and they have a Players Point thing, and I just I get free strings. So
well, that's cool.
pretty cool. It's like a recycling program.
Yeah.
So I just keep them all in there, and yeah, they send you a label, you pick a box, and you just send them a bunch of strings, so it's free.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
and you get free strings. So
All right. Well,
yeah, plays great.
there it is. The pastor will be happy to get that back because he's been bugging me.
Yeah.
And I told him it got dropped down the stairs and needed re-glued.
Yep.
So, well, he'll be very happy with that. So, all right, Ben. Well, thank you again. And you can be found at Augment Guitars.
Augment Guitars everywhere. Instagram, Facebook. Just search Google and I have a link tree that has all of my links there. It should come up. So
Okay. Well, stay tuned. We're going to shoot a couple more videos before we leave. And we're going to take this guitar back to Mark. Till next time, don't forget to like and subscribe.